hair and makeup. You don't look dead enough.
Hey guys, the bonus round is back here inside Trailers as we go behind the design of Black Ops 2 with Mark, Dan, and Jimmy. And now we are going to talk about zombies. Mark, let's set this up first of all, because I mean, zombies has become really a staple of Treyarch games here back for over the past. I guess this will be the third game with it, right? Mm-hmm. You knew something special was happening with zombies, but for this game, I mean, from day one, did you guys know that you wanted to be this ambitious with the zombies mode?
Yeah, across the board, each of the teams, I think, had really, they were just really creatively ambitious. I think, we had set out to achieve what we wanted in the campaign and the multiplayer and the zombies of our previous games, and, much like the fans want something new, us as creatives, we wanted to create something new. Now, the team occasionally has a lot of ideas about how expansive they want to be, and I think the zombies team is a great example of when I heard, they wanted to create this massive world and just exponentially, grow this thing into other directions. I thought, give them the rope to prototype it. No. Give them the rope to prototype it, and we can manage this if they can't. But if they can, how awesome would that be? And so they did.
Yeah, I mean, like Dan was saying about multiplayer, we kind of look at it and we've played it so long. We know our the fans of zombies have actually played it for so long that we want to always try to push that, and we also want to excite ourselves about what we're doing. That to us, we look at the original gameplay. We know the kind of essence that zombies needs. We know what it needs fundamentally to maintain the gameplay. So then we look at ways we can break that but maintain the feel.
Right.
And then the first thing we thought of was, zombies is always about tight corridors and confinement and blocked in and trapped. And so we thought, well, let's literally reverse the model and say, you're going to be outside and in bigger environments, and you find places to go in and explore. And so a lot of the original stuff we bring with us, but we just flipped the entire model and tried to see it from a different perspective.
All right. So when you were starting with zombies, I mean, did you have a design document? I mean, what was the original idea when you went in and pitched Mark and said, okay guys, what do you want to do for zombies? I mean, what did you say to them?
I went away to my office, closed the door, and opened the door and said, anybody please help. And we started, just collecting ideas from everywhere. I mean, Zombies, again, is really tightly tied to our community and just looking at what they've done, things we've wanted them to do, things we're like, oh my God, we didn't know they could do that. And what they're having fun doing, and again, the team, and all just putting these ideas down and coming up with kind of a plan. The plan
what was that original pitch?
The original pitch was we wanted to do an epic sized map, something bigger than we've ever done, something that challenges
an open world almost?
Open world-ish, and really challenges the core gameplay. But then we also realized that people didn't always want to spend 2, 3, 4 hours playing zombies. They wanted to jump in and get that experience. So we thought, let's do smaller bite-sized things. Let's do things that are contained and offer them the ability to jump quickly in, get some zombie killing, and then run to work. And then tell their friends about what they did, causing them to want to leave work and go beat their score.
And that's why, you moved it obviously from, as we talked about, from the single player engine to the multiplayer engine. So that allowed you then to have multiple game types and modes.
Absolutely. Again, this is like, as far as, you jump in a traditional zombie map, you're looking at, 4 players getting together and shooting zombies. And then we thought, well, wait a minute. What if they were competing with resources in an apocalypse with another group of four players? And that was very interesting to us, and that's what multiplayer, the engine, offered us. We could actually then put people in an environment that was hostile to both, but they both had to find a way to outlast the other and survive that. So.
Right.
And that's now its own mode in this game. It's like you have this big open world transit, which you're trying to survive in, with the 4 players and the 4 characters and the story and all that richness. But yet the team had prototyped and has honed in on sort of more traditional single area environments, and that's the survival modes that you can play with up to 1 and 4 players. But people have been asking for 8-player zombies, which they're getting. It's really 4z4. It's really humans versus zombies. It's just there's 2 teams of humans, and the last person on that team standing wins.
What about the idea of letting people play as the zombies?
I mean, that's something we've entertained from, I think, even the first map we made back in World at War. and there's definitely, something there. We're always really excited about that idea, and for us, it's always about making sure that there's that true experience, even if it's completely different, but it has the kind of the pace and the excitement and the tension that core Zombies has.
Yeah.
So when we find that right tone and balance, that would be definitely.
Did you
something we
prototype
go
that
after.
stuff? I mean, how far along did you get with that idea of letting people play as zombies?
Maybe we did, Jeff.
Okay.
Maybe we did.
Can we talk about that?
Let's
or-
say that we prototyped many different ways of playing
Right.
zombies, and fun, challenging. Some of it is gonna potentially see the light of day, and
Right.
some of it is going on this disc that is actually really good and solid gameplay that we're proud of. So
I mean, that's obviously, that's a radical idea, obviously, but it's like, you guys seems like you entertained a lot of radical ideas across, the idea of building out this map and, the bus and things like that. So that open world or that, that larger map, what drove that idea? Was it fiction, or why did you like to kind of create this larger idea?
it comes from, again, internally the team and things we want to attempt that challenge the idea of zombies. Just things that we throw out there and think, well, that just sounds ridiculous and fun, so let's try it.
Right, and then you're sitting in my chair, and they're like, so we're moving over to the multiplayer engine, and we're doing this massive map, and we're going to do modes, and there's going to be these, anyways, and it just goes on, and it's like, okay, well, you have a development cycle with which we have to do this in, because you could just prototype forever. I think, while they're highly creative, I think having some focus has helped, and so they did. They have, Meanwhile, they're aggressively prototyping. Both of these teams here have been just aggressively prototyping things along the way, and what you see in the product is a result of that.
Yeah.
And as I was talking to you about in campaign, a great example of that is the Strike Force levels, aggressively prototyped and changed along the way.
In any kind of game like ours, like competitive multiplayer in zombies, it's a sandbox style gameplay experience, which is very different from a story campaign. So I think that just by the nature of the experience that we're delivering, you have to prototype constantly. It's just, for us, it's always iteration and systems and making sure that there's good mechanics and core mechanics and then content.
And Zombies has had, a core kind of loop that I think everyone knows from obviously, opening doors and, buying things. Was that always the loop? Do you ever think of reinventing that in Zombies?
No, so while we're prototyping all these kind of new ideas, we at the same time we're kind of developing the actual main experience that we knew would be, one, it would also be groundbreaking, but it would be very kind of familiar to the core audience, and that they would actually get something for sure that they're going to embrace and see as part and parcel with original gameplay and all the way back through World at War.
Okay.
And it was just a matter of trying to find that balance of, we have this, let's make sure that gets done, and then which one of the things that we're doing is going to be a complementary to that and a new, kind of face or facet to zombies in general, to the fans.
Now you guys, have a fiction tied to it. You've sort of seemed to have made a deliberate decision to not really talk a lot about, who these four characters are, what the world is, that type of stuff. What is driving that? Just that you want people to really experience it for the first time?
Yeah, it literally is we bounce back and forth with the community. It is it is us, it is them, it is things we hear them say or think that is in the game, and then we can spin those ideas back with them. We can put ideas out and just see how they react to them, and it's really actually kind of a relationship. We never really meet face to face necessarily, but we are watching what they're doing out there and listening to how they respond to the things that we put in there. So,
but you're obviously
doing script the entire time.
But you're obviously doing a lot of this in isolation. You can't really even talk about zombies, when you're developing it, and it comes very late in the campaign. So you're just kind of feeding off what people said about Black Ops.
About Black Ops, about them kind of theorizing and projecting out where they think.
Wouldn't it be cool if we could do this or that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that last DLC pack with Resurrection and Moon ended with some events where people were like, so now what?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of theories that
we have them
that,
slam their fist down on a button that actually launches rockets and destroys Earth.
Yeah.
And so what do? Where do we play? And really what we wanted to do is leave them with this really epic kind of what they feel is kind of an apex or an ending potentially. Right. And get them really wondering where this could actually go.
So fictionally, does this tie into sort of Resurrection?
Well, in fact, it actually is their actions
that
have caused the world they're going to play in. So,
so
there's really for us, we wanted to make sure that when they get here, they realize, oh, we did this, you know. And so it's actually honoring the fact that this is about them and about them kind of feeding into the game.
All right, well, thanks, guys. We'll be right back after this with more on Black Ops 2.